Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and get a sip of this ice cold water from my LBHT canister here.
What's
All right,
going on, Couch Rider Raven?
what's going on, man? What's going on? Yeah, I'm just mellowed out right now, man. I got mixed emotions about that game. Big Reg, what's going on? What's going on, Big Reg?
Noah, what's going on, man?
He said LBHT crew. Yes.
Derek's in the house.
Derek, what's going on, Derek? Yes. Felipe's in the house. What's going on? Yes, I want you guys to leave your comments and let us know how you feel about this game, because look, always glad we get the win. Always happy we get the win. But
what's going on, Tony
Hendo, yes, we were chatting in the Discord. Tony feels my pain. Okay, he feels my internal struggle, if you will. Okay, JP, what's going on? Quan, what's going on? The whole LBHT crew is in the house, man. Thanks for coming through. All right, look, look.
Yazar?
What's up, Yazar? We got Panthers fans in here. We got Ravens fans in here. Both of us are a little frustrated, but one of us is a little less frustrated. We got the win. Okay, the Panther Nation.
At all.
Okay, yes. You've come to the realization you are what you are, right? Well, Sam Darnold is what he is.
Well, I knew that before the season. It's not bothering me.
Oh, okay. All right. So here's what we'll do. We're gonna start with we'll start with the Ravens game. Okay, that just finished. Ravens 34, Vikings 31. All right. Look, we got the win. That's the good thing. We got the win. Lamar's still healthy, guys, and we're still leading the division. That's the good thing.
Because Cincinnati got the brakes beaten off of them again.
That's actually a great situation for us, because now they're 2 games behind us, right? Yeah. So they're 2 games behind us. The Browns are 2 games behind us, and as of right now, the Steelers are 1 game behind us, but they still have to play their game against Chicago. So we want to root for Chicago. And normally I don't feel this way about our division, because I always feel like we're the better team, but we might need some help. Guys, our defense is bad. Our defense is really bad. We might have to retire #defund the defense, because you might have to spend some money on them.
They don't need to spend no money.
I know.
That's a joke. They need to spend some money is that defensive coordinator. Get Wink up out of there and get somebody else in there who knows what he's doing.
Yeah. We were never huge Wink Martindale fans, and this is why. He's just not good. I wouldn't say he's a bad coach or a really bad coach, but we can't call him a good coach, man. We can't. What they're doing out there is not because they don't have enough talent. It's because you don't have a coordinator that knows what he's doing. That touchdown that they gave up early to Justin Jefferson should have never happened. That wasn't Marlon Humphrey getting beat. That's just him not understanding what the coverage is supposed to be. I mean, he's running to the flat. You know what I'm saying? He took himself out of coverage, right? Yeah. And they're talking about miscommunication. That shouldn't happen. It's week 9. You just came off a bye. What is there to not understand?
It's week 9. You've had the same coordinator for years, and you have all vets.
Yes.
And so apparently, one time, okay, I mean, whatever. But it's been all year.
Yeah. All right, real quick, man. Y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you're a Vikings fan, go ahead and hit that subscribe button too, man. Y'all welcome in here too. Get it off your chest. I was talking to my friend. Shout out to Wayne. If Wayne's watching, he's a Vikings fan, man.
How you go 14-2 and you got a top offense and a top defense, and nobody wants either one of your coordinators.
Yeah. And outside looking in, people look at it and say, man, you guys are just being, you're being spoiled, right? Ravens fans are being spoiled, not being spoiled. Our last Super Bowl was 2012, right? It's been a while. So it's one thing if we're winning Super Bowls and we're complaining about it, because I wouldn't say anything if we won a Super Bowl. I would have my criticisms, but I wouldn't be saying get rid of them, because we're ultimately winning, and it's hard to get rid of people when you're winning Super Bowls. So I'd be quiet about that, but we're not winning Super Bowls, and we know where this is going to go. We're going to make it to the playoffs. I have no doubt about that. We'll probably win the division. Mm-hmm. But that's it. We're not winning the Super Bowl. I do not see this team winning the Super Bowl, man. This O-line is so bad.
Now, I'm going to push back a little bit. I still think that with Lamar, Hollywood, Bateman, when Watkins gets healthy, Mark Andrews. I know there's the possibility of Odell. They're going to get some guys back on, a few guys back who have been out. And nobody particularly in the AFC, nobody looks like they're unbeatable. I mean, Buffalo just went down to the Jaguars today.
Yeah.
9-6, mind you. Not like, oh, the Jaguars offense got hot. Buffalo put up 6 points on Jacksonville. The Chiefs are looking how the Chiefs have been looking.
Wait, did they lose that game?
They lost.
Woo!
They lost 9-6.
Wow.
So, I mean, Baltimore they absolutely can get out of the AFC. Whether or not they do is a different conversation, but they can because they have Lamar. Because they did improve the wide receivers. They can do it. We'll see.
Yeah.
They've got to tighten up though.
Yeah. All right, guys. Look, right below B, you see it right there. That's the Cash App. Okay, that's what we use as our super chat. Also, B, can you put the link to StreamYard in there? I'm gonna pin that if I can pull it up here. All right, that's what we use as our super chat, guys. Cash App $LBHT show, or you can hit up the Streamlabs link. And you can leave a donation, leave a comment, and we will read it on air for you guys. And we'll try to get through as many comments in here. You are in the chat section strong, as you should be, right? There's a lot to talk about. And Panthers fans, we ain't forget about you, man. Throw your frustrations in there because, Darnold is who we said he was. Yeah. He is who we said he was. Like, he's not that guy. He's showing you he's not that guy. And look, Justin Fields was right there, man. That's all I gotta say.
He was right there, and the head coach, and this is what we talked about before, right? The head coach talked the owner out of drafting Justin Fields, and now there have to be consequences for that.
Yep. Well, okay. Well, so
is a bad quarterback. It wasn't coaching.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Jets organization. He's just a bad player.
Well, hold on, B. We're gonna say that for the Panthers section because we're gonna spend a segment talking about that. Yes. Right now we'll get in some Ravens, and then we're gonna lay it on thick on Matt Rule. There needs to be consequences. We put out a video. Consequences need to be had. Okay. So, all right. So, Lamar. Okay, we go as Lamar goes in this game. Lamar started out kind of shaky, right? He wasn't looking good. He had some missed passes, and that's on him. I understand the O-line is playing bad, but he had some easy passes that he was just missing. But he turned it around. I think overall he had a solid game. That last interception, I don't put it on him. Like the guy just ran right in his face. He was supposed to be blocked. Devonta Freeman actually runs up and blocks the guy. He can't make a play like that. But
and like the announcers we're noting, the point of engaging in the block is so that he can't do that. So he can't get his hands up, so he can't block the pass and catch it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, look, Sam Darnold had to play like that also, and I kind of lost it at that point. But it was, with those things, you don't put those 100% on the quarterback. It is what it is. It happens. But yeah, Lamar, he was struggling a lot. He was off on a lot of passes. He had a really bad interception in the first half when he was trying to get to Mark Andrews. And this is the thing. This is why we have the shirt. This is why we always talk about Lamar and building around Lamar. When they had to have the plays, Lamar made the plays.
That's right.
Lamar did what they needed him to do for them to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's what great players can do, and this is why we stress to get him weapons. Because look, I gotta tell you something, man. Rashad Bateman, I'm feeling really good about Rashad Bateman.
I want to stop you right there. We did get an anonymous Cash App. This is for What's Up Big Timers, Mr. Jackson MVP 2 times. Thank you very much.
I like that. Thank you. Appreciate that. But no, like what Rashad Bateman did, I told B at halftime, because our offense looked awful in that first half. Mm-hmm. And Lamar threw the ball up, and Rashad Bateman drew a pass interference call. He did that by running back to the ball and attacking the ball. And that's something that you don't see from our wide receivers. We haven't seen that since Anquan Bolden and Torrey Smith, right?
That's something I don't think the league should call, but they do. And great wide receivers do it routinely. And quarterbacks, I mean, even at times, intentionally leave the ball short so their wide receiver will come back to it so they can get those calls.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in Baltimore. Yeah, Torrey Smith was the master of it. I mean, arguably, I saw a graph, arguably one of the best all time at drawing pass interference calls, but they
But
haven't had anybody who can do that since him.
But Bateman was making great catches out there today. And that is why I wanted us to get Allen Robinson, DeAndre Hopkins, Odell, because those guys can bail out. Every top quarterback has a wide receiver that can bail them out at times.
Yeah.
That's why I keep telling you guys, watch other games, because these quarterbacks that look really good, I mean, they are good, but they have games just like Lamar. Like they have days where they're just off, but they have wide receivers and pass catchers that can bail them out when they don't make those perfect passes. They can make those type of catches. And what Rashad Bateman did out there today, he's showing flashes of it. So I feel really good about that. And Hollywood looked really good too.
Well, and we got to give props to Duvernay as well, because those are the kind of catches that you haven't seen players in Baltimore make in recent years. That was not a good throw on that touchdown. No, he had to reach back with one hand and kind of tip it to himself and make the catch, and he did it.
Well, I'll say this on that pass. The announcer said it. No, it wasn't necessarily a good throw, but it's the only place he could throw that ball, right? Like essentially, he's throwing it away, right?
Yeah. But what I mean is Duvernay had to turn around and extend with one hand to even get it, to get the one hand on the ball.
Yes.
Like it wasn't a catchable pass, essentially. But he made the play on it. He made the catch. They got the touchdown to tie it up. And obviously we know what happened after that. But those are the kind of things that you haven't seen Ravens receivers do recently. And they're starting to do them, in spots.
Yes, and that's what you need. Like, this is the whole point of team football. It is not supposed to all fall on one person. You're asking Lamar to be the best runner on the team. You're asking him to be, obviously a top passer in the league. You're asking him to be a top passer in the league. Every passer needs to be perfect. What's going on, Eric?
There we go.
His greetings, brother, man. I hope all is most excellent.
I didn't read the second part before I did that.
Okay, we're gonna talk about Darnold in a second. We're gonna get to that. But I mean, you're asking him to be perfect every game. That's what me and B say. Like if he doesn't have a perfect game, then we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because we're not asking the defense. The defense was bad. Yes, they came back and redeemed themselves a little bit, right? But they gave up 24 points. Okay, I mean, we gave up 31 total because of special teams.
Yeah, right.
But 24 points is what the defense gave up, and I mean, that's not good enough, right? Like I understand, they had a stretch where they helped us, by not bleeding anymore, and let our offense get back into it, but they put us in a tough spot out the gate, and I mean, yes, they'll get some criticism, but it's never going to be on them. It's always going to be on Lamar. If we'd have lost that game, it'd have been on Lamar. So, the news, no one, what's going on, King of Pool? No wonder Lamar has back problems. Yes, because he's carrying the team, and this is why it infuriates me, because we saw a report. I'm sure you guys saw it on Twitter today that we were trying to trade for Xavier Howard, a cornerback, right? And what have we been talking about the last couple of days? Odell Beckham, right? Could we bring him to the team? And there's some of you guys that want him, like us. And there are a lot of people that they're like, nah, we don't need him, right? We don't need Odell Beckham. We don't want to pick up that $7 million contract. Yeah. Well, Xavier Howard is not a player that we need here. And Xavier Howard's contract, that's $15 million on the cap. So how are they going to pull that off?
Yeah, and we did get another cash out from our guy Tony Hendo. He says, for coaching sucks. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not happy with the coaching, man. I'm not happy. This is what you give us after a bye week. You got 2 weeks to prepare for a bad team.
Yeah. And
I mean, it wasn't great planning that got us that win. It was Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson didn't even play that great, but that's what got us the win. That O-line, man. The fact that you are willing to give up some significant picks for a corner and not a tackle, a tackle.
When it was the overtime, I believe. No, right before overtime, when they had the balls like 3rd and 13.
Yeah.
And they were trying to they were trying to get it back into field goal range, and Lamar took a sack, and then there ended up being a defensive holding. But Lamar took a sack. You go back and you see the replay. Alejandro Villanueva is laying on his back in the middle of the pocket with his feet in the air. Like it's awful. It's awful.
Yo,
and this is kind of our thing here. Gerard's place. He says,
what's up?
Nobody holds QBs to a higher standard than how high they hold Lamar. Give him every weapon available, and that's the point. Like people don't, there are people who say that people make excuses for Lamar. The Ravens fans kind of they're overprotective and nothing's ever Lamar's fault. Well, if you give him protection, he has running backs. You give him wide receivers, there won't be any excuses. Then it's just go get it done, and either he will or he won't.
Yeah, and I know, shout out to Danity. I know the one day she was saying that we don't really criticize Lamar. We're putting on everybody else. It's not that we don't criticize Lamar. It's just that, like B said, like what are you giving him to work with? It's hard for us to say, hey, Lamar's at fault, for a loss or the performance overall when nobody's blocking for him. Nobody's out there making plays for him, right?
Well, and Jonathan Washington says it right here. Lamar had a somewhat off game, and yet he was the reason we won. He's a cheat code.
Yes.
It's hard to criticize him when he's the only reason that you're in the game to begin with.
Because, listen, man, if you take Lamar off this team, and I'm not saying replace him with a bad quarterback, give him Kirk Cousins, right? I mean, Kirk Cousins is having a good year, right? He's having a good year. What's their record?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They're 3-5.
That's
they're Panther territory.
And that's with talent and a solid O-line.
Yeah.
Now put them on our team, and what did they do?
Right. We did get another anonymous cash app here. It says for Harbaugh and Roman needs to go. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, make sure you guys look.
And listen. Too. By the way, wing two.
Man, how do you look? Let's get to some of these comments because you guys are pouring your heart out into this chat section, man. We can't get to everybody, so make sure, like you said, we don't do super chat. Cash App and Streamlabs is the way to go.
Odell just being on the field can open the whole offense just by standing there. Absolutely. People kind of make fun of it a little bit when they talked about this guy, but I'm going to relate it to a basketball player, Steph Curry. And people talk about the gravity of Steph Curry because he draws defenses to him and he gets other people open. Just whether he's making his shots or not, just being on the court alters the defense and it gets everybody else more opportunities. And it's the same thing with Odell Beckham. The defense has to pay attention to him. You can't not account for Odell.
We can sit here as fans and say, oh, Odell hasn't done anything in 2 years, right? He's been hurt. He's this, he's that. But when he gets on the field, those teams, those defenses, those DBs, they know who he is. They know exactly what he can do. Yeah. So, I mean, we can do all the chattering we want. They're the ones that have to cover him, and they know what he's about. They're going to respect that. So you have him on this team, like, I mean, and I see G-Star 007. He's absolutely right. Bateman is legit, man. Yeah. I am very excited about Rashad Bateman. I'm very excited about him. He's showing some of those traits. I mean, it's still early, but he's showing some of those traits, man. Like he's being an aggressive wide receiver. He's attacking the ball. He's trying to bail out his quarterback when his quarterback needs help because some of those times he broke off routes to help out Lamar, and that's what we weren't seeing the previous years. So you get him with Bateman in Hollywood. That's what we need here.
Yeah, Bateman has a number one wide receiver mentality.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
The problem that I have, because I love Rashad Bateman. I think that when they really get rolling with him, I've said it on here before. I think their offense will be nearly unstoppable. But the problem is, how long is that going to take? Versus just getting Odell, who is that guy already right now, while you're trying to make a Super Bowl run.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my thing. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, Rashad Bateman could be that soon, but you don't rely on rookies. That's just my whole thing. He could be good this year, but you don't rely on rookies. Couch Rider Raven says, yesterday I felt like we don't need Odell Beckham, but I'm with y'all now. Got to go get OBJ. However, shake up the running back house.
Yeah, and I saw your comment earlier, Couch, about they should have been going after Marlon Mack, and I absolutely agree. Number one priority I feel like should have been just make the deal for Andre Dillard. Get him in there so that you at least have some other options at tackle. But they absolutely should have been going after Marlon Mack as well. I know that he's kind of fallen out of favor in Indianapolis, but before Jonathan Taylor got there, he had about 2,000 yards, and I think it was 17, 18 touchdowns over 2 seasons. Like, he's shown that he can play. He's shown he's explosive. He can make plays on his own. And Baltimore needs players like that. They don't really have that right now.
Yeah. And shout out to Nitro. He says, finally, some damn screens. Wow, who would have guessed? Yeah, the screens look bad, though. I mean,
but at least they tried them.
At least they tried them. It's amazing to me. Like, one of the most basic plays that you can run in football, we can't execute at all. Yeah. I mean, and it's, again, it goes to speak to the bad O-line, just poor blocking, especially when it goes to the outside, because that's what we're seeing. When they have to run to the outside to hold their blocks, they're just missing the blocks, right? Yeah. And it's essentially just it's like we're just spiking the ball, almost like we're just giving up a play. And it's frustrating to see that they do that, and then on the Vikings end, they're running screens and it's going for 30 yards a play, or they do a screen toss or not a screen toss, just a sweep, and Dalvin Cook runs it for 60 yards. Like, those are things that we should be able to do with Lamar, but we can't get it done.
And we did get another anonymous cash app for play calling and offensive line are below average. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I would even say I'd go harder than below average. I think the offensive line is awful, and Greg Roman is not an NFL offensive coordinator. But yes, thank you so much again. We do appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
But yeah, absolutely agree.
I mean, what plays? I mean, they look so terrible. It's always what goes on is it always has to be when we're in a hurry up offense. When we're in a hurry up offense, the offense looks a lot differently, and that's because everything's moving fast, and that's when talent starts to take over. What you mean, B?
We got another cash app here, and I forgot to mention this at the beginning. It's our guy OTR Mike. He says OBJ, 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 but then hashtag LBHT Pick'em Champ. As OTR Mike did win our Survivor League today, thanks to the Dallas Cowboys and their gutsy performance, putting up 8 points in a 30-8 loss against Denver, knocking out Tony Hendo. So Mike got the win. So congratulations.
So last year it was our brother Jay, Coach Jay he got the trophy. This year is brother Mike. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Congratulations to you. And once we get you that trophy, you're gonna have to take a picture as well. Shout out to you, man. And if you guys want to be a part of that, you sign up right below me, patreon.com/LBHT show. Okay. In fact, this is a good time to tell them about the tiers. We got 2 tiers, $3 tier and the $10 tier. Yes. Okay, champ.
You ain't getting that championship belt though, so don't worry about that.
Look, you're still a champion. You're still a champ. Okay, He's a pick'em champ. Yeah. All right. Tell them real quick about the tiers. B.
Yeah. So we have the 2 tiers: a $3 tier and a $10 tier. $3 will get you an invite into our weekly overtime show that we do after our live show every Wednesday night. That's a lot of fun. We have all the patrons in there, and we're just talking anything and everything. That usually goes on for
longer
1 to 2 more hours, sometimes longer. But that's a lot of fun. With you also get the Survivor League that we were just talking about. You make 1 pick every week. If your team wins, you advance. If they lose, you're out. And like OTR Mike, you get a trophy at the end of it. It's unfortunate. But the $10 tier, you get a on-screen invite into the overtime show. You'll also get entrance into our yearly fantasy football league. We're in just a redraft league right now. We're going to be starting up a dynasty league next season. We give out a customized championship belt at the end of every year. You also get the ability to request specific content, videos or articles on specific topics, whatever you would like. And both tiers will get you entrance into our Discord.
All right. And Nitro makes a good point here. He said those passes to Hollywood were screens and they worked. Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
they worked a little bit. I think they worked because Hollywood is extremely quick.
Yeah,
he's very athletic. He made them work more than they just worked by design. But I'm willing to kind of look past that, right? Like, at least you're attempting to do it, and I would expect that you get better at it the more you do it.
It's just painfully obvious when we run plays that we don't practice. right? When we run certain plays, you can tell that's not something that they're used to running, right? They look completely out of sync. They look confused, and it's just goofy. And it's just like, if you don't practice that, why are you running that? Yes, Tony Hendo, the overtime show is fire. It is a lot of fun. Yes, it's a lot of fun. We end up spending more time than we plan on spending there. And yes, lots of great stories, lots of great conversations. So make sure you sign up for that. Nitro's laughing about the Cowboys. Look, we're not gonna laugh at the Cowboys, okay? We feel for our friend Caleb, all right?
Well, I mean, I would, and I wanted to offer condolences, but he didn't come by like he normally does around 4 p.m. Eastern every Sunday.
Caleb, you're fine, Caleb. I wouldn't show up either. I wouldn't show up to that toxic environment. So
I was just asking him questions.
Troll you.
I wasn't trolling. I had some questions. He did not show up to answer them. I didn't really appreciate that, but that's okay. That's all right, Caleb. We'll catch you.
Emphasis. What's up, Emphasis? He says idiots are saying Odell wouldn't get enough targets, but Pat Ricard is out there getting several targets and TDs.
Pat Ricard. And listen. God bless Pat Ricard, man. You know, like we always kind of laugh about people in the media using the book of cliches, like you like to say, but that man is just a football player. All right. He can play any position on the field, and he can do every one of them to an acceptable level.
Yes, but you're absolutely right. Pat Ricard doesn't need targets. Devontae Freeman doesn't need targets. I understand running backs will go in and get some targets out the backfield.
But it shouldn't be Devontae Freeman.
Last week I was saying Duvernay doesn't need any more targets, but he earned about 2 more targets for his performance today. Look, I'm liking Duvernay more and more every week, because Duvernay is one of those guys that's showing you he can do something with what little opportunities he has. Unlike the other guy who has 0 targets today. I'm not going to say his name, but he also doesn't need targets.
They said his name on the broadcast. They called him James Porsche.
James Porsche. That's what what's his name? Mark Schlereth called him James Porsche, because he had a good block. James Porsche.
A Cowboys fan said this morning, we're not losing another game this season. I was so thankful Broncos got the win.
That was okay. All right, let's talk some Panthers real quick. I want to discuss this, and then we'll get back to some Ravens. We'll get some scores around the NFL, and then let's enjoy these later games, because I want you guys to watch some more football.
Oh, all right? No. Slow Shay, how it's called.
Woo! Slow Shay.
I don't know why Tony talking about Lack Daddy. He wasn't even out there, was he?
He was.
Leave that man alone.
He was out there on that goal line stance that held him out the end zone until somebody got that.
He was out there. He didn't do anything.
And
just like always.
All right, we'll get back to in a second. Let's talk about this 24-6 beating by the Patriots to the Panthers.
Listen. There's not a whole lot to say about this one, honestly.
I was excited in the first half.
I don't know why you were excited.
Because it was before they got that last touchdown before the halftime, because your defense was doing exactly what I thought they were going to do.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. There's not a whole lot to say, right? Like, Carolina has a good defense, a talented defense.
Mm-hmm.
Stephon Gilmore went out there. He got an interception. They forced a fumble from Mac Jones as well. They played Panther defense. They played pretty well. And the offense did what the offense does, right? So what it was is Carolina's a bad team, and they got beat by a slightly better team. That's all that happened. And Sam Darnold went out there and threw 3 of the most ridiculous interceptions you've ever seen. Like I said, I'm not going to blame him too much for the one.
So we got to tell the story of the second pick. Hold on. First of all, Couch Rider Raven, man, thanks for coming through. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
if you guys aren't subscribed to Couch Rider Raven, make sure you subscribe to Couch Rider Raven, man. Show him some love. So I was out, at halftime. The Ravens are at half. Brodny, I apologize. Darnold had those first couple of weeks. I thought he was gonna prove you wrong, and then it all fell apart. But do you think the win-loss record would be significantly different with Teddy? Yes.
It depends on what you mean by significantly. I don't think they would have lost 4 in a row and 5 of 6. Teddy is a much better quarterback than Sam Darnold. I think
you'd be 3 games better right now.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, what are we calling significant? Like, I don't think they would have beat the Cowboys, right? And maybe they wouldn't have won today.
But, I think they won today. I think these are the games that he would win.
I mean,
You know why?
maybe they
Because
would have. Maybe they would have. But
here's
I'm
why.
just saying they wouldn't have beat Dallas. They would have won a couple of the other games.
But here's why I think so. Because last year, how many close games did you guys lose? Because this was a criticism of Teddy Bridgewater. Like you weren't closing out these games, right? But Eustace, just as Mosqueda on Twitter, right? He was it him that put out that tweet a while back. He was giving that stat about those
in one score games are essentially it's fluky, right? They kind of always even out.
Yeah. So those games that he was losing last year, right? That wasn't going to happen this year. Usually, when you see stuff like that, it flips the next year, right? You don't keep losing those close games. So I think had he kept Teddy Bridgewater, you're not gonna, you're pulling out some of those games that you weren't pulling out last year, and he's just a better. I mean, he's showing you he's a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. Like just flat out.
I think they would have beat Philly. They would have beat Minnesota. Maybe they would have beat the Giants, but they really let that one get out of hand. But regardless, he's a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. They'd be a better team with Teddy right now. They'd be a better team with Justin Fields right now.
Yeah, but let's talk about this interception, because I was at the store. I said, okay, it's halftime. I need to get a snack real quick, and I was talking to B, and then the Ravens game came back on before on my way home, and I was just like, wait, what's going on? Because something happened,
And Carolina was on the New England 20-yard line at this point.
He's
marching down the field a bit.
Yes.
So I go to ESPN.com to check out, because I'm watching on Sunday Ticket, like streaming it on Sunday Ticket. So I go to ESPN.com to see what happened in the Ravens game, and all of a sudden I see, because it was 14-6 Patriots, and I see the score change to 20-6 Patriots, and I lost it. And then a few seconds later, I see Sam Darnold on my screen roll out to the left. Being a right-handed quarterback, rolls out to the left, and while he's being chased down, throws one of the ugliest passes you've ever seen to a tight end who's about 10 yards away from him total. Not 10 yards downfield, but 10 yards away from where he was. And it sailed over his head right into the arms of a Patriots defender, who then returned it for a touchdown.
Now, mind you, while B is watching all this, I'm asking for a score update to the Ravens game, and all I hear on the phone is, what? No. And I'm thinking something bad happened in the Ravens game. No, he's talking about Sam Darnold throwing a pick six. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Abs is in the house. He said Joe Brady doesn't trust Darnold. Nor
should he.
Well, that's a problem. Just Allo says he's finally here. What's going on, Just Allo? Appreciate you coming through. No, he shouldn't trust him, but that's your guy. That's your guy. You know what Joe Brady should have done last year? He should have fought his head coach on getting rid of Teddy Bridgewater and say, we can't get it done.
He wanted to get rid of him too.
Exactly. That's what I'm about to say. Yeah. Exactly. He was in on it. Okay. He was in on it.
So again, I don't want to put all this on Sam Darnold. I really don't. Because, as before the season, they were setting him up to fail because they can't block. He's running for his life a lot back there. That line can't block. Christian McCaffrey came back today. Christian McCaffrey averaged 3.7 yards per carry today.
And Mikey was just asking, how did Christian McCaffrey do today?
He played okay. I mean, he ended up right around 100 total yards. But again, he was averaging 3.7 yards per carry because they can't block. They can't run block. They can't pass block. So Darnold doesn't have the opportunity to get comfortable in the pocket. Whether or not he would actually ever eventually get comfortable, I don't know. I think he might be a little bit shot in that regard, but he doesn't have the opportunity. Christian doesn't have the opportunity to really get going, and listen, I know Chuba Hubbard did fairly well over the last, while he was filling in, but with Christian back, defenses are going to be keying on Christian McCaffrey, right? Nobody's worried about Chuba Hubbard, and rightfully so. But yeah, so they don't have the offensive line. They don't have the coaching. The receivers are kind of being wasted right now at this point, because they do have good receivers, but they're being wasted because you can't block and your quarterback can't get the ball to them. And this is the fault of Matt Rule, right? Like, he came from college and he was given the keys to the kingdom. You hired a GM who's going to be a yes man to Matt Rule, even though Matt Rule doesn't have any clue what he's doing in terms of building an NFL team.
Yeah.
He talked the owner out of drafting Justin Fields, which was the obvious pick. And even after that, even if you say, hey, we don't like Justin Fields, we don't think he's going to be the guy, I can get on board with that. Okay.
Yeah.
But the next pick is Rashawn Slater.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Like JC Horn, as good of a player as he is, a good a prospect he is, that's a terrible pick for
It
Carolina.
is. Yeah.
Especially when you go out then later and trade for CJ Henderson and Stephon Gilmore when you already have Dante Jackson. What was the point?
Listen. It's the same way I feel about Odafe Owe, right? I know everybody loves him here, and he's been doing good. Solid up to this point. He's been quiet the last few weeks, but he's been, off to a good start. But he can't block. He can't protect Lamar. That's the whole thing. And it's the same thing for Sam Darnold. You bring in somebody that and they don't really believe Sam Darnold was their quarterback of the future, right? But whoever your quarterback's going to be, you got to be able to protect them. So you have to get Rashawn Slater, right?
King hitting us with some breaking news here. Thank you, King. Appreciate that.
Deshaun Elliott torn biceps out for the year.
That is very unfortunate. I feel bad for Deshaun, man. Like he's been fighting injuries since he got to the NFL. And it kind of looked like he was finally kind of over it and getting his shot, and he was doing well, and he was about to get paid. So I hate to hear that, man. That's awful.
I do, man. And yeah, that sucks. And he's been one of the more consistent players on our defense. So that's a huge blow to the defense as well, man. Damn, get well soon, man. Like that sucks. That sucks for him.
But thanks for bringing that to our attention, King.
Yeah, appreciate it. And Nitro, man, I don't know who was saying Sam Darnold was better than Lamar. Are you talking about when they were drafted? I mean,
well, yeah, I mean he went what was it, third overall, and Lamar went 32nd. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean
there were only a couple people who were really riding for Lamar at that point.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, I'll say this: a lot of those people have come out and say, "Look, we got it wrong." That's fine, right? Mm-hmm. You get things wrong all the time. There's still a handful of people that are still on that Lamar can't play train, but it is what it is. But I don't think anybody, even the Stephen Nays out there, will say that Sam Darnold or was saying Sam Darnold's better than Lamar. No. Now, who was it that said Sam Darnold was the best Panthers QB in Carolina's history? Who was that?
No, that was our boy Daniel Orlovsky, wasn't it?
Was it Orlovsky? No.
I believe it was.
It was Bradshaw. Was it Terry Bradshaw that said it?
It might have been.
I can't remember.
I tuned that out immediately.
That was
I was the living embodiment of that Mad Max. That's bait. Me. As soon as I heard that like that's complete garbage. Because obviously that's a shot at Cam, right?
Dan Orlovsky was caping for.
Yeah, he went hard for Darnold, but that's obviously a shot at Cam. But
yes,
not better than Jake Delhomme either. Okay,
right.
So I mean, it's just disrespectful all the way around.
What's up, Keenan Ricketts? Thanks for coming through, man, with the purple hearts. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Look, so yeah, speaking of Cam's still out there. There are some teams out that are making statements that they weren't picking up Cam, and New Orleans was one of them. And New Orleans, what happened to them today?
Well, they got a solid performance out of Trevor Siemian.
Yeah,
he had like 250 yards, a couple touchdowns. They actually took the lead late, very late. They went up 25-24, and then their defense gave up a field goal, and they lost to the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, okay. Well, there you have it. Carolina is look. Darnold is looking worse and worse. He is falling apart. What did I say at the beginning of the year? That those wins early. What's up, Z the Beast? Defund the defense. If I'm Lamar, I wouldn't play again until they paid me. Pay him. I would say pay me. Pay me is that's obvious, right? Like they're gonna pay Lamar. Pay him and fix the O-line. Do both. I don't want to hear this nonsense about where they're going with the money. You better find the money, right? That's the answer that every Ravens fan should be saying. They shouldn't be riding with the team saying, "Oh, well, where are you going to get the money for this?" They should be saying, "You better find the money to pay Lamar, to surround him with protection, and to surround him with weapons. I don't care how you do it. You better do it." That's what you should be saying.
The Ravens organization and fan base has gotten too comfortable with excuses. Or I don't even want to say excuses. With just reasons why we can't do things, right? okay, well, we can't go get this guy because they cost too much. We don't have cap room. Oh, we can't get this guy because we can't get DeAndre Hopkins because they didn't want to trade him in conference. We can't get Xavier Howard because they asked for too many picks. Like, at some point, you need to, again, just say, I don't care. You need to get something done. It doesn't have to be DeAndre Hopkins. It doesn't have to be Xavier Howard. You have to get something done that makes a difference. I don't care what it is. I don't care how you do it, but you have to do it. And you have to do it now.
Yeah.
Because again, if I'm Steve Bisciotti, if I'm John Harbaugh, if I'm EDC, any of these people who are in positions of power in Baltimore, I don't want to see Alejandro Villanueva on his back with his feet in the air on a critical third down, while our quarterback's getting sacked.
I can tell you this: that would not be Andre Dillard.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can say what you want about Andre Dillard. He wouldn't be doing that. And Yazar, yes, thank you, man. We saw that Elliott is out for the season, torn bicep. Yeah, man, that's unfortunate. But look, speaking of Xavier Howard, like I said it earlier, they were in on Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard is $15 million. That'd be his cap this year. $15 million. Okay. Now I'm here, I'm hearing from Ravens fans that we couldn't go after Odell because, $7 million. We don't have the cap room for that. So you can't find cap room for $7 million. How are they going to find cap room for $15 million? Who are they? Because they weren't talking about trading players. They're talking about just draft picks.
And by the way, like, I don't agree with them going after Xavier Howard. I don't
either.
I don't think they should have. But you decided that's what you wanted to do, so do it.
Yes.
So get it done. You went after him. You made that call because he's one of the top corners in the league. What did you think you were going to have to give up for one of the top corners in the league?
Right.
And if you're saying, hey, not a first round pick, then you should have been calling New England instead of Carolina to get Stephon Gilmore, but you weren't in on that either because he wants some money, right? Like, at some point, if you want guys who can make plays, who can play consistently and make plays for you when you need them to make plays, you have to pay. And it's either going to be in dollars, it's going to be in draft picks, it's going to be in whatever it is, but you are going to have to pay. It doesn't come cheap.
No.
Elite talent does not come cheap.
No. And this is something that the Ravens organization knows very well. They understand it very well. They just do a good job of pushing out the propaganda to you guys that they don't need it, right? Because it's only when we're talking about top tier talent. It's not that Odell costs too much money. It's that he's a top tier talent, and we're trained to say to think we don't need top tier talent, right? If Odell had $1 million cap hit, we would still be saying we don't need him here.
Yeah,
like
but Antonio Brown,
right? But if it was like just an average receiver, like, look, Brashad Perriman just got cut. If there are rumors out there that we're looking at Brashad Perriman, a lot of people will be like, "Oh yeah, we could bring him back. We can make it work."
It's a cost-effective move
because Odell, bringing in somebody like Odell means there's expectations, and we are afraid of having high expectations here. It's a fear that's been ingrained in us for years, and we're trying to break you out of that. Don't be afraid to be great. You should want to be great.
It's a fear in the fan base, and you know what else it is? Baltimore doesn't want to win. They want to win their way. Yes. Those are not the same thing. No. Like, they are not saying, hey, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. They're saying, this is the way I want to win, and either we're going to win this way or we're just not going to win, and that's fine.
Yeah. So, yes, Nitro says, thank you for saying this. They seem to find money for defense, but for offense, we have to watch the cap hard. That's right. Yeah. Oh gosh,
Sancho Mac.
Sancho Mac, what's going on? Go ahead. Wow. Go ahead. Click on it. Wow. Go ahead. Wow. You got it. So we're speaking in language today. Yes.
Well, thanks for coming through. But yeah, like it's so frustrating to me because, again, as a Panthers fan, I sat and I watched this in Carolina when they had Cam Newton. It was the exact same thing. It was, hey, we've got this otherworldly talent at quarterback. What if we build the defense and just let him carry the offense? Because it's all good. He's got that. Because hey, we only need to score, but 13 points, right? The coach is conservative. He's a defensive head coach. I'm talking about Ron Rivera in Carolina. He doesn't want to put up a lot of points. He's like,
Mhm.
Cam can get us a couple touchdowns. And if we put all our resources into the defense, we'll be able to stop the other team. And Cam will carry the offense. Luke and them boys will carry the defense, and we'll win games, right?
Yeah.
And it works for a time, but you can't sustain that. And they had a top defense, and then it fell apart completely. Even Luke Kuechly, he was a great player, but you lost the D tackles in front of him, and he was no longer effective. But you look at the other side of the ball, you never put wide receivers around Cam. You never put an O-line around Cam. You never put a consistently good run game around Cam. And, eventually he broke down.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing the same thing, not as bad, but I'm seeing the same thing in Baltimore, where they're so focused on other areas instead of building around Lamar. And I mean, long term, that's going to kill them.
What's messing them up, because they're trying to do the same thing that Carolina did to Cam. They're trying, and they're kind of in this weird place now because they thought, okay, we have a running quarterback. That's what they thought, right? I mean, when they got him in there, they didn't know how to use him, and they thought, well, he's not going to be ready. We're going to have to use a wildcat and all this stuff. And he ended up showing you a whole lot more from the jump. He took a team that was not a playoff team and immediately made them a playoff team.
Yeah.
And, Harbaugh understanding, this man just saved my job because he was on his way out.
Yeah.
He said, okay, I got to get the program real quick. Let me bring in somebody that can get more out of his skill set. And, let's try to work around that. And
Ferris.
hold on a second. Well, yeah, Ferris is so funny, but they still had a mentality of a run heavy team and hard defense. They've said this. This isn't something that I'm guessing. They've said this, right? Because they see him as a running quarterback. But then you go 14-2. He leads the league in touchdown passes. That changes things, right? And then he comes in year after year, and he just gets better and better at passing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't sit there and say he's just a run first quarterback. Even they can't deny that. So there's this realization in the organization that, man, like, he's a good passer, and we got to take advantage of that. We can't just roll out there with nothing. And at the same time, you spend all these resources on defense, and the defense looks terrible.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why, when Carolina, the defense held up for a long time because you had great players, like all-time great players. Right. Like Luke Kuechly is one of the greatest linebackers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Julius Peppers is one of the greatest edge rushers of all time. Like you had these guys that were just great. When you have great players, your defense can be consistently good year in and year out. We don't have all-time great players.
Yeah.
Right. We have good players, but we don't have all-time great players. So unless you got somebody like that, stop investing in the defense. Put in, because you have an all-time great player on offense. So build around that.
Even with those guys on defense, it deteriorated around them. Like I said, they spent a first and second round pick on Star, Latule, and Kawan Short, and they were great. And then both of them started getting hurt, right?
Yeah.
And then Star was out. Kawan can't stay healthy, and it just kind of, it snowballs, right? So like even if you have a couple great players, when the things fall apart around them, you're no longer a great defense. You might be a good defense. You're fine. But if that's the route that you go, you have to be great. And there's no room to slip. There's no room to fall off. You have to be an elite defense if you're trying to build around your defense. And you cannot sustain that. San Francisco's going through the same thing right now. A couple of years ago, they had a great defense and a great young defense. And you looked at it and you're like, man, that defense is going to be dominant for a while. 2 years later, where are they at?
Yeah. We were just talking about that too, right?
Because last year, a lot of those guys got hurt, so you kind of give them a pass. Like, yeah, of course you're not going to make it. I mean, you got hit particularly hard with injuries on defense, so you're not going to make it, and that's fine. That happens to teams, all the time. But you come back this year, those guys are healthy. Where are you at?
You're healthy. You got your quarterback, and you drafted a quarterback in the first round. Like, there's no excuses.
No,
you're just not winning games.
Right, because you were depending on your defense to win games, and you said, hey, we'll be good enough on offense, and you're not. the defense can't win you games, and you're not good enough on offense anymore. And now you're not a playoff team.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
And I mean, Baltimore would be staring that right in the face right now if Lamar wasn't one of the best players in the league, period.
I'm really hurt by this Deshaun Elliott news. He was second on the team in tackles, 6 tackles. You know who's leading the team in tackles today? Josh Bynes.
Wow.
8 tackles, 3 assists.
There you go.
Deshaun Elliott had 6 tackles. Tyrese Basil had 3. I didn't see Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen had 2 tackles. Not a good day.
Yeah, I think he's taking a step back, and that's fine.
Was Owe hurt? Did he play?
Young player. I didn't see a whole lot of the game because I was flipping back and forth. So I don't remember seeing him, but I assume he played.
I didn't see it. I mean, that's what I'm asking. Like, I mean, I don't see him on here. I'm not sure if he was at the game or what.
I mean, surely he's in that box score, right? Like I was told he's a superstar edge rusher.
Look, he's not that. I see Justin Houston though.
Yeah.
No sack. By the way, Justin Houston, because Sancho Mack, he said he'd been watching, hadn't been commenting. Sancho Mack, we did not forget your comments, my friend. But listen. We are rooting for Justin Houston. Okay. We need our guy, living legend, to get one of these shirts. Okay. Now, officially, he only has 2 sacks. But here at LBHT, okay, where it matters, he has 4 sacks. We're giving him credit for 4 sacks.
Yeah.
He didn't play. Okay, he didn't play a lot.
He
Why?
did play a lot.
Oh, he did play a lot.
Yeah.
He played. Okay, fine. Whatever.
Liar from Green Bay. No, thank you, Jason.
But hold on. We need a sack update. 4 sacks, guys. Justin Houston. We're giving him 4 sacks. He just needs 3 more sacks for our man, living legend, to get one of these shirts, man. So every week you got to send good vibes to Justin Houston.
He ain't getting it.
He getting it.
He ain't getting it. That's all right.
He's getting it. 3 sacks. He's gonna get it. Stop hating, B. Stop hating.
And this is what we had talked about a bit last week as well. They're playing all the way out of position, a lot of 3 technique. Don't do that. Just play him where he plays. Play him where he's best.
He showed you what he's doing well at. Yeah.
And again, deal with the consequences of your inaction. Because they could have fixed the interior D-line if they wanted to. They played against somebody who they could have had in free agency for cheaper than Brandon Williams and Dalvin Tomlinson.
Yep.
He played for Minnesota. You could have had him easily. Deal with the consequences of your incompetence.
Yeah.
Don't make Owe play out of position because you didn't do your job.
Another stat that I want to point out here that bothers me is Lamar Jackson, 21 carries. Yeah. Okay, 120 yards. Like this is the thing that I did not want to see happen this year, where he's getting the ball that many times. Now, to be fair, I don't think that was a plan. I think, when every one of your running backs goes down, it changes things a little bit. But it shows you.
I'm not giving him a pass for.
I'm not giving him a pass because it shows the deficiency in your offensive scheme, right? Because those guys could be healthy, right? Like they even if they were healthy, right? Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, Justice Hill, everybody was healthy. These teams are game planning to stop the run this year. So even if they were healthy and they were out there playing, these teams will still be trying to stop the run. So then what? You still gotta have to pass the ball,
right? But
we don't have an O-line. We don't have the O-line to stop people from getting to our quarterback. So, like, it's always going to be a problem. And this offense doesn't look like it's in gear until Lamar starts running. Because even when Devontae Freeman, first of all, Devontae Freeman and Bell, like, they don't get going. They don't get the game going. Lamar gets the running game going, and then they start getting theirs, right? So Lamar has to run the ball for this offense to move, which it tells everything about Greg Roman's offense.
Yeah, and people always ask why we don't give Greg Roman credit. That's why, because he doesn't run a good offense. Lamar runs a good offense.
Yeah.
If Lamar is having an off day, that offense ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
If Lamar doesn't run the ball, you don't have a run game. He's supposed to be a run game specialist. I mean, I'll give Kyle Shanahan that. He can run the ball with whoever. Greg Roman can't.
This is
Why
true.
not?
Yeah.
And also, like, this goes back to EDC. Also, how were Le'Veon Bell, Devontae Freeman, and Latavius Murray your answers at running back? Go find somebody who's under 30.
Well, Mike is talking about Tyson Williams. He clearly hates Tyson because he can't handle like they don't know how to develop young players. Tyson Williams makes a mistake, a young player mistake, and they put him in a doghouse because they want veterans that they don't have to coach up. All right. Nitro says O-line is horrible. The fat lady is singing. Lizzo has already finished her set.
Oh, that's not nice. That's not nice.
Yeah, man. Look. Just Al, he's not a big fan of Wink either. Big Red says Wink is a one-trick pony and can only dial up a good blitz, and Greg Roman has a horrible route combination. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because, look, man, he's not a true offensive coordinator.
You got to take the flats more. Teams are playing deep coverage against us. And look, that would be true, but they don't really have guys to attack that area of the field. They can keep Hollywood in and throw screens to Hollywood. They can try and do that with Duvernay, but they don't have guys to check down the ball to. Like, you don't want to give Devontae Freeman a bunch of targets and receptions,
right?
And this is kind of my problem with what the Ravens did. You needed to go and actually look for another running back after you sustain those injuries, not just, hey, let's go see who's left over from the 2010 draft class and bring them all in. Like, you needed to go and find somebody who's on their way up still, not guys who are on their absolute last legs.
Yeah.
And this is a consistent theme with Baltimore. They just go with the veteran, right? They don't ever look to get players who who are on the upswing. They just don't do it. The guy Kansas City signed, Derek Gore. I mean, I'm not saying he's a great running back, but I'd rather be handing him the ball than Devontae Freeman right now.
Yeah.
And tell your head coach and your offensive coordinator to play their petty games on their own personal time and put Tyson Williams on the field.
But look, these stats are what we're saying about Gus Edwards. We all love Gus Edwards here. We like Gus Edwards. He's fine, but he's not a special running back, right? No. Look at Devontae Freeman, 13 carries, 79 yards, 6.1 yards per carry. Did he look that good out there today? He was fine. But, did he look like a 6.1 yards per carry type of running back? No. Le'Veon Bell, 11 carries, 48 yards, 4.1 yards per carry and a touchdown. Okay, look good. But, they look like guys that you had the game plan for? No.
Right.
Not at all. And that's what we say about Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards, again, if Kirk Cousins is handing the ball off Gus Edwards, what's Gus Edwards going to do?
Nothing.
Right.
Mikey says he'd rather give McCray a shot at this point. And I forgot they even brought him back, Nate McCray.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. He's not an NFL running back either, but give it a shot. Yeah. What you're doing right now isn't working.
All right, let's do some quick scores, man. Let's get out of here so we can watch some more football.
The Arizona Cardinals are beating the brakes off of San Francisco. So
I called it.
Kind of mad I switched that one up. They're up 17-0 late in the second quarter. Colt McCoy is 12 for 15 for 145 yards. Conveniently, since I had to start him in fantasy, he has not thrown a touchdown yet.
Oh, but I say, who do you throw a touchdown to? Because I started Rondale Moore.
James Conner got both of the touchdowns rushing. Rondale Moore has 3 catches yards for 12 yards.
Damn it.
Mm-mm.
Damn it.
Chargers and Eagles are tied up at 10 midway through the third quarter, or just about. The Chiefs are up 10-0 nearing halftime on Green Bay. And that's about it for right now.
And shout out to our man Ferris, the New York Football Giants getting the win over the Raiders today.
We don't shout that out.
I almost picked them, man, but I got scared, man. I was a scared boy today. Okay, I should have picked them. The Falcons got the win. Jaguars got the win over the Bills.
Yes.
Oh man, I gotta look that score up too. Josh Allen did nothing.
Yeah, Jaguars won 9-6.
Oh my God.
He did do something. He turned the ball over 3 times.
Yeah. So
He
okay.
scored 0 touchdowns.
And then tonight we got Titans versus Rams. Look, I'm interested to see that game, man, because I feel like without Derrick Henry, everybody's gonna see just how average Tannehill is. But we'll see. This is the perfect time for him to show out, right? You got Adrian Peterson back there. Adrian Peterson, look, he believes.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they're first in the AFC.
Yeah, but yeah, because it was Tennessee, right? Then they wait. What's Tennessee's record?
Sack, interception, and fumble recovery. Tennessee has a couple losses.
Who got sack, interception, and fumble recovery?
Josh Allen, the other one.
Yeah.
Ferris is being clever.
Man, that's pretty good. But yeah, you're right. I think we are first. First.
My apologies to the Cowboys, by the way. They got not 1 but 2 garbage time touchdowns to make it 30-16, not 30-8. That's my bad.
Don't take the goose egg, because yeah. So Titans Rams tonight. Who you guys got for that? Tomorrow, Bears and Steelers. We're rooting for the Bears, guys. We're rooting for the Bears. Justin Fields, let's go. And if the Steelers win, they're 5-3, or 6-3. Did they have their bye yet?
5-3. Yeah, they had their bye.
Okay, 5-3, and they'll be second in the AFC North.
Ram blowout from Solomon.
There's only one Josh Allen today. Yes, that is correct, Ferris.
Okay. Titans first unless they lose tonight.
Okay. You mean when they lose? I feel like without Derrick Henry, there's going to be a major problem. Needs the Rams tonight. Yep.
Why would they put that on Monday night? Because they thought Chicago was going to be good.
Yeah.
And they would be if they had a good coach.
But I don't know why they thought the Steelers were going to be good. Oh.
I think you're forgetting the Steelers were 11-0 last year.
Yeah.
I think we've all forgotten.
Look, they win, man. Like I said, 5-3. Like I said, man, you can never throw dirt on the Steelers.
He's a wizard, Mike Tomlin.
Yes. Yeah, man. Like, you cannot count the Steelers out.
Ben Roethlisberger looked like he'd never seen a football before this season. and they've won several in a row. About to be 5-3.
Let's go Rams and Bears. Yeah. All right, y'all. We'll wrap it up here. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out, man. Got 44 people in here. Hit that like button on your way out. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Kingbird says, hope we do not need offensive line and running back. And yes.
I think the O-line and running back help ship has sailed, but they could potentially get OBJ. We'll see. He put out the word. He put out the word that he doesn't want to be claimed on waivers, essentially. Yeah. He said he wants to go to a contender and that there may be problems if he goes somewhere that doesn't have a winning environment.
I'm glad he said that. I'm glad he said that.
He didn't say that, but that came out of his camp.
Jonathan Washington says Matt Paradis tore ACL.
Oh, did they say it was torn ACL? I saw when he got hurt. It looked bad. They had to help him off the field. That sucks. That sucks.
Yeah. But no, I look. Odell needs to state stuff like that. Odell's never been a free agent, right? He's been in terrible situations that were not in his control. Okay.
Because again, even the contract extension, he signed that in New York.
Yes.
To be a Giant.
Yeah. So they shipped him off to Cleveland. Nobody willingly wants to go to Cleveland. I'm sorry. That's just like Joakim Noah once said. He said, "Look, I've never heard anybody say I'm going on vacation to Cleveland."
What's so great about Cleveland? Like, he legit did not understand why people who were born, raised, and live in Cleveland were offended by that. He just didn't know. Like, he traveled the world when he was young. He's like, "What's so great about Cleveland? Why are you here? Why are you staying? Get in your car and go somewhere."
Odell tried his hardest to make it work. He did, and it's just It's not a good situation over there. Not a good organization. Not really a good team. And don't be fooled by today. Like, yes, Baker Mayfield is that person. He needs a chip on his shoulder. That's why he always he makes up things sometimes. It feels like to try to get himself up for these games. Like he has to play with a chip on his shoulder.
And he didn't play that well. Like,
he
didn't do
didn't.
anything today. He was 14 for 21, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns. That is Nick Chubb's team.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. But look, like not being able to get a player like Odell Beckham involved in the game is not a good thing. All the people that are saying, "Oh yeah, it's Odell that's the problem there. He's a problem. They're so much better without him." That's not good because without him, they're not good, right?
Yeah.
They made the playoffs last year. I give them credit for that. They made the playoffs, but if you can't add great talent to your team and make it work, you're not going far. Hollywood balled out to I see you lowering that shoulder. Yes. Yeah. So Odell needs to make sure he goes to a good situation this time, not a bad situation. And if he has interest, if he clears waivers and he has interest in playing in Baltimore, don't be stupid.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid, Baltimore. Pick him up. I don't want to hear this crap about we don't have room for him. You better make room for him.
Yeah.
All right. You better make room. You better make sure he gets his targets. Not enough passes to go around. Who else needs to eat?
Nobody.
Right? Like,
look, you currently don't throw the ball to Miles Boykin and James Prochet. So
yeah, you don't. It doesn't matter how you feel about them. They don't get the ball.
You don't need to throw the ball to Devin Duvernay. Although he made a great play today, and that's awesome to see. Sammy Watkins is a part-time player.
Right. You tell Sammy Watkins, you know what? Good news. You get more time to rest up.
And I'm gonna say this again because I think people need to hear it more. When they say there aren't enough targets to go around, why?
Right.
Throw the ball more.
Who controls that? Throw the ball more, especially since you can't run the ball. And the only time you can run the ball is when Lamar's running, what we don't want.
Roger Goodell did not call Steve Bisciotti and tell him to send the word down the line that Baltimore can only throw X number of times a game. They can throw as much as they want. And if you have Odell Beckham, throw the ball more.
Usually, when your O-line can't protect, the way you protect your quarterback is by handing the ball to your running back. Here, when we can't protect our quarterback in the pocket, we protect him by making him run.
Well, and throwing the ball downfield more often than anybody in the league. They have the highest average depth of target of any team in the league.
Yeah,
and it's not even close.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get ahead, but before we get out of here, there were some fights last night. Let's talk about these real quick. Okay. If you guys are boxing UFC fans, if you guys are LBHT fans, we like boxing UFC over here.
Yeah.
All right. So and make sure you're following us on all of our social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at LBHT Show, because we put other video clips that we don't put on YouTube. They'll put them up on those platforms from time to time. So we were talking some UFC. We talking fights. Yes. If we weren't so old, we probably would have done a post-fight show. But at 1:30 in the morning, wasn't going to happen. Yeah, I was. You weren't going to either. If I said let's do a stream, you'd have been like, no.
I didn't say that I would have done it. I'm just saying I'm not old.
Okay, so yeah, Fair said he missed the Canelo fight. I'll tell you what. I had Caleb Plant winning that fight late into the fight, and I think Mikey agreed with me, right? They got into the 11th round. I think that's when he got knocked out. But going into that 11th round, I'll say to myself, Canelo's in trouble. If this goes to the decision, he's not winning this fight, right? Like he gave up way too many early rounds, and they were saying it throughout the whole fight that Canelo felt like his team felt like he could he can get him into the later rounds and he'll have success there. He was right. But man, the way that fight was going, I was just like, you better be right, because if this goes to the decision, you're not winning. But he knocked him out. So credit there. Right. Mm-hmm. UFC. There was a few fights worth talking about. Okay. First one, Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje, right? Both of them decided before the fight, I guess, we're not going to do any defense. All right. Let's just go blow for blow. Blow for blow. Okay. You throw a hit, you throw a punch, I throw a punch. And that's what happened. And Michael Chandler, who should have been knocked out in the second round, he got hit with the uppercut, and he was pretty much out of there from there. They just let the fight keep going, and he was kind of, he had a couple.
Yeah, Justin Gaethje had been hitting him with the leg kicks all night. His leg was pretty messed up. He couldn't really move around like he wanted to.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where he knew he was finished, and he kind of just dropped his hands and walked forward and let Gaethje hit him in kind of a Ricardo Mayorga, I can take your punch, you can't hurt me kind of thing.
Yeah.
And at that point, it seemed like Gaethje was like, all right, the fight's over. I'm not gonna do this with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he just kind of backed off, and Chandler danced around like he was going to do something for the last 40 seconds of the fight, and it went to the decision.
And people want to see a rematch. I don't want to see a rematch. Why? Justin Gaethje has championship aspirations.
Yeah.
Michael Chandler's just a guy. He's
Mhm.
1-2 in the UFC. He's already had a title fight, which he should not have had. He's not ready yet. What's up, Terrence J? We about to get out of here. We was talking a little bit of fight night last night. Yeah, make sure you check out the replay. But the second fight, Rose Namajunas versus Weili, Zhang Weili, part 2. Okay,
Yeah.
first fight, first time they fought, Rose knocked her out with a spectacular leg kick to the head.
Mm-hmm.
This time around, Zhang had a great game plan to counter that, because she threw it every time she threw that kick, she would take her down every time, right?
Well, and Zhang was hitting her with the leg kicks as well.
Yes.
Rose's leg was all bruised up and everything, but man, like it's funny, because Rose looks small and frail, and her attitude outside of the cage, she doesn't seem like a fighter.
Rose is that person. Rose is that person that would like, you ever see those when Keeping It Real goes wrong skits, like somebody would mess with her, and that'd be the wrong person to mess with, because you don't want any part.
She seems so nice and everything, and and non-violent.
Yes.
but she's one of the greatest women's fighters ever.
Yes.
And I mean, she ate some hard shots from Zhang.
She did.
I had Zhang winning the fight 3-2, but I thought it was really close. So it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Rose got the unanimous decision. I mean, it was a great fight. I'm not sure that I don't think they should do a third one immediately. I think they should both go and take a couple other fights elsewhere, and then depending on how that goes, come back for a third.
Yeah.
But that was an outstanding fight.
Yeah. Keeping It Real. What's going on? Make sure you guys are subscribed to Keeping It Real as well, if you're not already. He said, what's going on, guys? Did y'all hear what happened to Deshaun Elliott? We did, man. We talked about it. That's a major blow for this defense. This defense is playing terrible right now, and he was one of the more consistent players on the team. So,
but to be fair, is it a major blow when you're already ranked 32nd?
Yes. I want to give up more points. Okay, main event real quick, and let's get out of here. Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington, part 2. Look, a lot of Colby Covington truthers out there will tell you that Covington should have either won or should have been a draw. Do not listen to that. He lost the fight. He first of all, he got saved by the bell in the second round. He should have been KO'd. It should have been a knockout. He was done for.
He was holding on for dear. He turtled up and was
literally,
like, all right, this is done. He got dropped with 2 clean left hooks in the second round. And after that, he had his moments for sure. I think he stunned Usman a few times. I think that Kamaru was a little overconfident in the idea that Covington couldn't hurt him. And he wasn't playing defense as much as he should, and he just kind of let himself get hit. I mean, not that like in kind of in the same kind of Michael Chandler way, but like he wasn't worried about getting hit. He was like, I'm just going to walk through it and land my shots. But he did get hurt a few times. But no, he still won the fight pretty clearly.
Yeah. There's no controversy there. He won that fight. So, I mean, that's the second time that he's beaten Covington. I don't think, I mean, look, he's ran through everybody in the welterweight division. I know they're talking about, oh, well, he could be the greatest of all time. Or he's got to be in a conversation. Well, who else is there for him to fight? There's nobody. He's ran through everybody. any name that you can throw out there.
Edwards.
He's beaten Edwards before.
I know, but that was a long time ago, and he's next.
Yeah, so. I mean that's the next one. They're trying to get our man Chimaev killed, right? They're talking about Chimaev. He would break Chimaev's back. Yeah. Okay, he would snap his neck back if he got in the ring in an octagon with Usman right now. Chimaev is not ready for Usman.
Right.
Okay. I know he's and even Chimaev knows he's not ready for Usman. He ain't talking about Usman. He's talking about Masvidal, and he's talking about what's his name? Who's the other?
The other guy he called out, but yeah, he's looking at Masvidal really.
Yeah. So I mean,
he's gonna show him who the real gangster is.
Yes, yeah. Diaz. That's what I'm like. Nate Diaz. Yes, he called Nate Diaz. Yes. So that's his focus, and that's where his focus needs to be. Don't go after the real killers, right?
So, yeah, not yet. You're not ready. And that's fine. And again, that's kind of a problem that we've always had with UFC. Like they will throw him in there early.
Yeah.
Instead of letting him develop and be ready for the fight. But yeah, I think Leon Edwards is next. I think Usman will handle him pretty easily.
Yeah.
And then we'll see from there. He might just quit after
that. All right. That's our fight night rant. I know you guys are here for the football. Appreciate you coming out to hang out with us.
Also, that Canelo was ahead on all three scorecards at the time. So you and Mikey were wrong.
Look, we weren't wrong. They were wrong. Okay. You watched the fight. Watch the fight again, man. Like, look, I mean, yes, we were wrong that if it went to decision that he would have won. But
one of them was pretty close. One of them was 96-94. One was,
but it doesn't surprise me because these judges are always in Canelo's favor. When Mayweather
97-93 and the other was 98-92.
Look, when Floyd Mayweather beat the brakes off of Canelo, one judge had it for Canelo. Remember that? Because Mayweather won by split decision.
Yeah.
Right? Or majority decision. I think one person had either a draw or they had it for Canelo. Yes. It wasn't a unanimous decision. Right? Like everybody remembers how badly he beat Canelo, but one judge had it for Canelo. Like, I mean, listen, that Canelo camp, they got their hands on these.
Well, I mean, we all know that Oscar's pretty slimy.
Yeah. So
I mean that's kind of where
so just by that scorecard, that's not telling the whole story, man. But if you watch that fight, Plant was winning. There's no doubt about it. Plant was winning that fight.
Majority decision. So that would mean I guess
one was a draw.
A draw.
Yeah.
Which is laughable. Just awful.
All right.
You didn't know the gangsters existed in Sweden? No, not gangstas. Gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you know.
Okay. All right. We're getting out of here. Watch some more football. All right, judges and pockets and containment meat. Contaminated meat. Yes. Whatever it takes. I'm still a Canelo fan. I don't care. Catch him.
First undisputed super middleweight champion ever.
Yes, congrats, Canelo, man. Congrats. All right, y'all. We're getting out of here for real this time. Watch some football, and we'll be back here on Wednesday. Yeah. I was going to say Monday because I still got a video to put out. We're going to put out a video, NBA video.
Also this, go watch The Harder They Fall. It is outstanding. Amazing soundtrack, amazing cast. And apparently that director we heard from our guy Deshaun has another Western on YouTube called They Die Before Dawn.
Nice.
Check that out as well.
Okay. All right. So that's some stuff to watch along with your football. Enjoy your week. We will see you guys on Wednesday. Big Reg says, all right, everybody, be safe and stay dangerous. Yes. All right, y'all. Peace out.